If you have done the exercise in the last video where you have tried to become aware of your personal history and of the history of mankind, you may have noticed that actually all your problems, everything that you are worrying about the future, actually stem from this constant backdrop of your history. It's not really present in anything else. It is this sense of self that is also generating for us all of our troubles, because it's always striving for something that we are not having currently. It's always giving us something to strive for that we can transcend and then momentarily be relieved of this sense of lack. And why is that? Why do we feel that we are having to constantly pull something out of our imagination and make it come true in this present moment, while then, when we experience it, not being fully aware of it? And from my experience, this comes from the fact that we are so habitually living in our experience, in our memories, in our past history, in what we think, what we are, and to a large degree missing what is actually going on. And then when we have reached and what we have worked for becomes true in the present moment, we are kind of almost already thinking about the next thing while we are having the thing we worked so hard to get. And part of us is missing our present experience. Part of us is missing to live fully in the present moment. And that's our problem. We have not learned and have not trained our mind to be present. Usually and that probably runs very deep in our education system, that when you go to school and you develop the sense of always having to have a goal, that we forget how to be present, and we learn instead to focus so much of our attention to our history, to our plans, to how this history should develop in the future. So we have to actively work against that to somehow become more present with what we are actually experiencing in the present moment. And when we do that, when we over time develop back, I would say, because as children we are very much in the present moment because we don't have this sense of history. And when we then grow the capacity back to be present with the fullness and with the kind of infinite potential in this present moment, because really there is kind of this fullness in this present moment that we turn out and we tune out from. Because not only is there endless possibility in terms of time, from like back very far in history to some very distant point in the future, but there is also an undiscovered richness in the moment. And we can train our abilities through meditation, through mindfulness practice, to become more aware and grow our capacity to hold more of what is going on in the present moment in our awareness. And what I recommend, and what is my favorite tool for that, is all-day awareness. It's not just meditation for 1 hour on the cushion, but it's really about constantly reminding us to live from a state of meditation, to have some part of our attention always in the present moment, on some kind of sensory input, and to be in this observer mode that is never empty and can never be fulfilled with anything that we strive for. From this observer mode where we are always complete because we are nothing, because this observer that is somehow experiencing my life and your life and everyone's else experience that's part of the infinite sea of possibilities, this thing can never be not whole and not complete and doesn't have to strive for something. So it's a very nice contrast to our ego-driven desires to always fulfill some goal and to get somewhere and develop. Because on the one hand side, that's good. That's how we live as human beings. That's part of our human experience. But also we can live much more fully if we develop this sense of presence and keep it as a constant and develop it as a constant in everything that we do, to have this reminder, this ability to ground us in what we experience. So with that being said, I hope you gained some insight from it. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Goodbye.